Okay, guys, so for today, I'm going to let you explore a little bit more in Google Drawings. So I created something like this, which will be an assignment. Today, there's no specific assignment, but I want you to kind of practice, mess around with this just to get ready for that assignment. So first order of business is get to Google Drawings. So I think the easiest way of getting to Google Drawings is to start by going to Google Drive. And once you're in Google Drive, if you go to New, you don't see drawings here, but if you go to more and go over to drawings, that'll pull it up. So what that does is that pulls up a blank canvas. And that's what this checkerboard is a canvas. You can resize that canvas by going down here to the corner, pulling it up and over. That kind of makes it like a banner. You can pull it back down. If you pull it back down, you might want it to be a little bit more like squared a little bit. So I just pinched it in. This is pretty good. I'm not giving you any specifics today, but let's name this. I'm just going to call this practice school design or school edit. Doesn't really matter what it is as long as you know. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is add some kind of background. So to insert a background here, yeah, you can two-finger tap and go to background and do a solid, but it limits you in not being able to put a picture there. So let's go grab a picture from Google. So if we go up to the little picture icon here, click on search web, I'm going to type in blue background. And really, you can type in anything. It doesn't have to be blue. You could type in like blue abstract or colorful, really whatever you want. Depending on what you're doing, you might be obsessing over the kind of background that you want. As you become editors, you're going to start obsessing over that kind of stuff and trying to find the right thing that makes you feel all warm and fuzzy inside. Listen, I'm just going to settle with this for right now. So when I put it in, I want it to fill up the size of my canvas. So I'm going to my dots and I'm dragging it down. And there we go. Okay. So if we look here, there's a lot going on here. So we've got some word art. We've got a picture of the school here somewhere. We've got a picture of our Falcon logo. And then we even have these little shapes that are kind of see-through. Those are kind of transparent. So I'll show you how to do all that stuff here. All right, back here, let's insert some word art. So word art is so much better than plain old text. Stop using plain old text. I mean, yes, there's a time to use plain old text, but when you are doing something like a title like this, you want word art to really pop out. So to insert word art, just go up here to insert, go to word art, type in what you wanted to say. So listen, I'm just typing Connellsville area because I want middle school to be on its own line. Make sure you're spelling Connellsville right. You can refer back to this video. Okay, so here's Connellsville area. Look how lame that looks. Here's why it's lame. It's Arial. It's plain. It's lame. It's boring. There are so many more fonts for you to look for. Okay. You can go to more fonts and get even more that you want to install. You will want to get something that is kind of thick, something that kind of stands out so that you actually can do some stuff to it. So this is a pretty good font right here. It's simple, but it's easy to read. Now to change the color of it, if you click on it and you go up to your paint bucket, that's your fill. You can change it around to anything. I'm just making mine white for right now. Now, if you go to the little pen, this is your border. I'm going to make it black, which it already is. But the border, what's this called? The border line thickness, this is how thick it's going to be. That might be a little bit too thick. So I'm going to lower it like that. Maybe bolded to stand out just a little bit more. But you know what? I'll be honest, I'm not really feeling that font. So I'm going to go through and kind of obsess over a font that I really like. Sometimes I spend like 15 to 20 minutes making a decision on what font I want and kind of playing around with that. Not a big fan of that one either. I'm kind of on this one. I'm like on a kick for that one right now. So you got to resize it any way that you want here. Now, what's cool about word art is you can do a lot with it. So here's something that you can do. You can click on it and go to format options. And then if you put a drop shadow on, it kind of makes it puff out a little bit more. If you want some more drop shadow options, if you go right here to your arrow and click on it, you can lower the transparency, which makes it stand out a little bit more. You can play around with the angle. You can mess with the distance, But you don't want the distance to be too crazy because honestly, that just looks distracting and disgusting. And then you can blur it too. Depending on what you want your design to look like, you might want it to be a little bit blurry. Okay, so I'm going to leave mine like this. Now, instead of doing that whole thing again for middle school, because you still got to enter the words middle school, we can do a sweet shortcut called Control D. Control D on your keyboard duplicates it. Then all you have to do is double click on it and change what it says. Pretty sweet, right? The design is done. You don't have to do it again. You literally just do Control D and duplicate it. All right. Now what we're going to do, insert something from shared drive. So we want to make sure that we have shared drive access. So go to Drive, go to Shared, go to Digital Media, go to Pics, go to Falcon Logos. And you can really put in anything you want. I might stick with something a little bit different here and do just the Falcon, which looks pretty cool. I'm going to choose to leave out the C in this one. Okay. Again, just messing around a little bit. Now, I want you guys to get familiar with the different tools. So, format options, drop shadows. You can do the same kind of drop shadows to word art that you can with pictures. So, I kind of want my Falcon to stand out a little bit more. So, might do something like that. Maybe add a reflection, depending on what you want it to look like. Now, if we go over here, notice I have a shape. That shape has been arranged here to go underneath my word art. So you can do that. Let me show you how. If you go to Insert, Shape, and draw a basic rectangle. Notice that basic rectangle covers up my word art. Here's how you can fix that. With your shape selected, go up to Arrange, Order, Send Backward. Now, if you accidentally send it to the very back, watch what happens. It slides underneath that. So you don't want to slide it all the way back. Let me undo that. There we go. So I want to arrange that to just order backward. So it goes back like one step at a time. And it shows you some keyboard shortcuts too, which you'll learn to use a lot. I'm using my arrow keys on my keyboard to move this around pixel by pixel. Honestly, I find that to be a lot easier and a lot more precise and accurate with the placement and where I want it to go. Okay, so here's this. Again, you don't have to do that, but it's something you can do to make your text pop. If you look over here, this shape is see-through. It's semi-transparent. So how I did that was I filled it with a transparent color, kind of like what we did the other day with our white watermark that we made half transparent. Let me go back to my practice. Let me give this a color. Don't know what I want right now. Just being a little indecisive. So I'm going to do, I don't know, maybe dark blue. Go up here, customize it, drag it down halfway. Now, you really can't tell that it's see-through because I don't have a very detailed background. If I were to delete that background by clicking on it and hitting backspace, if I go to Insert, Image, and search the web, I'm going to type in something else, blue abstract. You got a lot more stuff going on with that. Now notice that covers everything. So I'm going to go to Arrange, Order, Send Back. I'm kind of liking this a little bit better. So never settle with the first thing that you do. Notice now that when you pick up that shape and you move it, it actually like bleeds through a lot more. Now what I might want to do is make that black and then customize that like halfway. I'm liking that a lot better, to be honest. So what I might want to do is duplicate this so that I don't have to do it again. Remember that duplicate is Control D. When you duplicate it, it goes on top of everything. So I would need to arrange that to order backward a little bit. Now I might need to keep doing that until it goes behind what I want it to go behind. So yeah, just kind of play around with this stuff a little bit today. Again, this is not an assignment, but it is something that you do need to practice using because next week you will be getting an assignment with this. There will be specific requirements. And I really want you guys to be comfortable with Google Drawings and exploring and just getting creative. And then, if you like this, then maybe what you can do is start something else and go to File, New, create a new drawing, and maybe make like a version 2 or make something else. So that's what you're going to be spending today doing is practicing, just getting familiar with these tools using Google Image Search and Google Shared Drive images.